I'm Dale Martin Coote.
I'm Megan Rebecca Coote, mother of Olivia Rose Coote.
Hello, Liv. How are you? You all right? Okay.
She is a bit shy. She's
a bit shy, is she? Yeah. Right. Okay. Do you know who I am? What am I? What's my name?
What's his name?
John.
Clever girl.
It's John. That's very good. Okay. So, when Liv was born, where did you go?
We fled to Spain.
Why did you go to Spain?
Because Suffolk Social Services deemed Megan to be unfit to look after Olivia, let alone herself. And we were advised by solicitors to flee the country before we got a gagging order.
Yeah.
The only thing that Suffolk offered us was for me and my wife to foster. They advised us to make Megan homeless so they could get a support housing, which there's none in Suffolk at all to help her. They then moved Megan into a flat on her own, so she was looking after herself, let alone looking after a baby, you know, and all of that lot. But it got to the stage that they told us we can apply for fostering our granddaughter.
Right.
They'd done the first assessment and they deemed me to be aggressive.
Right, okay. So you understand really what's going on with Mark and Kerry, don't you?
Oh, big time. My heart goes out to Mark and Kerry. Megan and Kerry's been in contact since we first went to Spain. I mean, Megan speaks to Kerry at least once, twice a week.
And Mark.
I've never seen a case so poor. You know, there's been that people been so treated poorly by authorities. Yes, Don.
Yeah.
I can't believe, you know, they deemed her too stupid to get married. She's cared for her children. As I said, we've had a very close Skype and talk to them and everything. We've seen the boys from being born to growing up, kind of thing. You know, they're 2.5, 3 years old now, and she's coped very well. All she needed was a little bit of help.
Yeah. And so, Megan, what do you think? Do you think that they're basically not interested in helping people?
Yeah, they're not, because since we've come back, there has been women out there not looking after their kid, and two of them were dead. One of them was found in their cot dead.
So what do you?
Because she was drinking wine. We found out at a later date she was drinking.
So what you think is they take the wrong children into care, basically?
Yes.
Leaving children at risk whilst going after easy targets.
Yes. Yes. If it's support that should work, we need out here support and everything out here to help us.
I've spoke to lots of other women, John, in Suffolk that's going through it, and they all do the same thing. They all take the child away on a might. Now, surely to God, it would be easier and cheaper for everybody to try and help these people keep their children. I mean, they always say they try to keep families together. I've found they want to rip families apart, and then when they do that, there's nobody there for the parents, the mother and father. Nobody picks their pieces up. You know, what they're doing is they're making families feel like the McCanns, and you know, it's horrendous what women and you know, mother and father's going through, John. It's just heartbreaking every time I speak to a different person and they're going through the same thing. You know, all I want to see is Suffolk Social Services doing their job properly, which, you know, no disrespect, they don't do their job properly. You can't get any help. You can't argue with them because the only people that investigate them are themselves. You know, and you've got nowhere you can turn. The ombudsman don't want to know until you've gone through all your complaints. I mean, that's 3, 4, 5 years down the line.
They gag them pretty quick,
you know, and
so they can't do that.
Then you get a gagging order as soon as the baby's born, and you can't talk about it to anybody. You know, and the point is, you can't get out to members of the public what's really happening. You know, we were lucky enough we left before the gagging order, and we did have a good public support. But, you know, I can't sleep at night, John, knowing that if social services took one child away wrongly, how do we all cope with that and sleep? Because what are them parents going through?
Well, and the grandparents as well.
Yeah, that's it, the immediate family, you know. I mean, when we came back from Spain, we were offered a family group conference, which we found was very helpful. This gave us to prove what our whole family could do, but they're still not offering this because it's too expensive. They're not. They're allowing most of the parents I'm dealing with, John, have got mild learning difficulties, the same as Megan. Right now, they're not allowing them when they go into any meetings or any medicals or anything like that. The psychologist, they don't allow them to have an advocate in with them. Now that's discrimination, surely, because these people don't understand the questions they're getting asked. You know, and you know, checking into it, they are entitled to any meeting they go into to have an advocate with them, but they're actually refused by their own solicitors, as Megan was, and the social workers. You know, that they can't have anybody in that room with them.
Which seems
but when you make a complaint, you don't get nowhere, John. You might as well, you know, no disrespect, John, right? I must phone the social services up about 25 times a week, and all I ever get is an answer phone. You know, and they don't get back to you, you know, about anything. I've had other people phone them up and they get the same thing, time after time. And unless we change this system, you know, and prove how, well, I've got to say it, how corrupt it is, John. Mothers are going to go through this for the rest of their lives, and fathers.
Well, there's all sorts of awful things that happen. Megan, what did you find about when you were in Spain? How did you find the authorities in Spain?
They were brilliant. They were brilliant in Spain and that, but it was scary. It was scary of going there because of the language. And I only saw the social workers once over there.
And they thought basically there's no problem, just go home with your parents and that's it.
Yeah.
John, they were totally different. They came round to see the baby. They said to Megan, if there's any help that they can give her and support, feel free to go and see them.
Like, if I can get nappies or milk, they would help me with them.
Financially, if you can't support financially, they will help.
Yeah.
We did get called back over to Spain. I had to fly back over to Spain very urgently because they had received paperwork from the English authorities. And the paperwork stated that why would the Spanish authorities leave Megan with us when me and my wife threw her out of our home and made her homeless?
Yeah, which you hadn't done.
No, which was a lie, because we have internal emails from social services for our access to records stating that they advised us to make Megan homeless.
Yeah. Do you say that true about Suffolk, that they advised you to do something that would have undermined Megan's case? They told you to do something which would actually harm her case.
John, yeah, when they first come and see Megan, it was all about the baby's father, because he was known to social services. He was not particularly a nice gentleman. But once they found out that she didn't want no more to do with the baby's father, they then started going on to her learning difficulties. But it wasn't until at least a week before we fled to Spain did any social worker say they were going to go for taking Olivia away. It was only that I knew somebody in social services that I actually got inside information. There was emails going around, which I now have copies of them, saying that they will take the child away at birth. They had an adopted family ready for the child back in September, and Olivia was to be born until February. We have paperwork to prove this, and the paperwork stated that me and my wife was not allowed no contact once Megan went in hospital with Megan or the baby. Now, I'm not a murderer, John. You know, I've not done nothing wrong. Why should me and my wife, you know, have that? I mean, they're not only doubted Megan's capability of being a mother, they've doubted my wife's capability of being a mother and my capability of being a father. And we've raised 3 children.
The thing is, my mum was my birthing partner as well as my sister. They were both my birthing partners. So they knew that.
Yeah, they're just ignoring the family support, basically.
Me and Megan suffer with dyslexia. Now, I'll state now, John, she can read, spell, 100% better than me, right? I've run businesses, I've employed up to 55 people at some times, right? So I thought that I was a valid member of the public, you know, paying all my do's and don'ts and everything that I needed to do properly, right? Now, I've always led to believe, you know, no disrespect, John, I got put down for many years because dyslexia was never known. I was just a naughty boy at school, didn't want to learn. But, you know, you get your paperwork from social services, John, the day of a meeting, and then they tell you you've got 5 minutes to read it. Well, that's discrimination, but they can get away with it.
I just want an apology to me and my mum, the way the social workers treated us.
All right.
You want to show John,
Right, John,
a picture?
lovely.
Oh yeah, come on, let's have a look at the picture.
Can you see
Can you
it?
see that, John?
What's that a picture of?
Is
What
it
is
there? What is
A
it?
guinea pig,
It's
silly.
a guinea pig.
It's a guinea pig. All right. Well, thank you for the picture of a guinea pig. All right. Bye bye, everybody.
Okay, John.
Bye,
Thanks.
John.
Bye bye.